Well, let's do this. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Fox On. My name is Andrew Fox, and this is kind of the first episode of this show. Many of you maybe saw the first episode that I shared, but that was more of like an episode 0, kind of a test run. This one, I say we because I got to give a shout out to my man Connor Hyde, who really helped me step up the production value here and gave me a lot of good ideas. Me and Connor Hyde, we go way back, and when I say way back, I mean way back. The main reason I wanted to do this show is I grew up a diehard Ute fan, born and raised in Bountiful, Utah. I've been going to Utah football and basketball games ever since I was a little kid. And, my dad being a sportscaster as well, I grew up talking about sports, sharing opinions about sports, and it's something that I've really liked to do. And I wanted to give an opportunity for Ute fans to participate in a collaborative effort. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to give you my thoughts and see your response and hopefully turn it into something that sparks good conversation. A lot of you may know me from Twitter, and you know that I like to talk about sports, and the Ute Twitter fan base is really growing, and the conversations are really good, but sometimes it can be kind of hard to get your thoughts across with only 140 characters. And a lot of times those conversations can be interrupted by other people who come in, and it can kind of ruin that conversation. And the other thing about Twitter is, if some kind of big news event happens, the conversation goes on about it for about an hour, and then it's gone. And so if you weren't on Twitter at the time, you're out of luck. You missed it. And this show is just always going to be there. We're going to talk about the most important topics of Utah athletics. For now, I want to make this at least a weekly show, and if this grows, maybe even twice a week. But I want to make Ute content more accessible to the fans and in a place where they can go back and revisit the conversation and revisit the opinions at any time. So that's kind of the thought behind making Fox On. And so, welcome to Fox On once again. But let's get right to it. Obviously, the biggest Ute news this week is the Utah-UCLA basketball game, and that was a good one. Utah had a huge lead for a while, and then UCLA kind of started to crawl back into it, but then, in my opinion, definitely the play of the week. Brandon Taylor hit this clutch 3. Passes to the man, and boom goes the dynamite. What else do we want to talk about that UCLA game? I think the biggest takeaway from the Utah-UCLA game is that in the first half, we didn't see a whole lot out of Jakob Poeltl, and you could tell that the Utes were struggling because of that. He is, as he goes, the Utes go. We need him to be involved. We need him we need the offense to go through him. And in the first half, that wasn't happening. And then you saw in the second half, he just kind of took over. And it's because we let him. We put him in situations where he could succeed. Behind Jakob Poeltl getting involved in the offense, we were able to build a pretty sizable lead. With a few minutes to go, we gave a lot of that up. But we executed in late game situations, as I mentioned, with the Brandon Taylor 3. And then, of course, UCLA's defensive breakdown, leaving Kuzma wide open on the other side of the court. Just an easy pass to really seal the game away. If you bet on the under, you kind of got screwed because UCLA did make a 3 right at the buzzer to shift it from the under to the over. So sorry, Vegas bettors. Better luck next time. Luck. Ha! Puns. But at the end of the day, the Utes got the win, and that's what really matters. This is a time where we need to build momentum, put together some victories leading into the Pac-12 tournament, and of course leading into March Madness. Speaking of which, Utah's got 4 games left on regular season play, and each of these is going to be really important that Utah plays well. Tomorrow they have USC at USC. I don't think they've even lost at home yet, so that's not going to be an easy one. But I think this is a game that Utah can win. Obviously, we've seen Jakob Poeltl's played so well, and anytime you have a 7-footer with the skills like Jakob Poeltl has, you're always going to have an advantage. And so Utah's going to have the advantage there. It's just, will we see first half against UCLA usage of Jakob Poeltl, or will we see second half against UCLA? If they use him like they did in the second half of UCLA, I think Utah wins no problem. If USC finds a way to take him out of the game, or if we don't utilize him like we should, then we might be in trouble there. Then we come back home against ASU, Arizona, and Colorado for a 3-game homestand. I think at least 2 of 3 of those games are winnable games in which we should be favored. But the Arizona game, Of course, Arizona isn't playing like the Arizona Wildcats of old, but it seems like Arizona, both in basketball and football, sadly, has almost a mental edge over the University of Utah. So it'd be really, really good to see Utah get that win. It's certainly not a gimme, but it's at home. Arizona's not what they used to be. I think that's also a game that Utah can win. It's not unreasonable to think they close out 4-0, but definitely the low bar is going to be 3-1. Anything less than 3-1 in these last 4 games, I think would be a really big disappointment for Utah. But how do you think the last 4 games are going to go? Leave a comment down below, make a prediction. Let me know what you think. Do you think Utah can win all 4? Is 3-1 what we should expect? Or what else? What else you got about that series? Come on, hit me. Don't put that in the video. I will kill you if that goes in the video. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, there's not a whole lot of other Utah-related news to talk about. It's all quiet on the football front. Not a whole lot of changes going on there. We're just sitting here respecting that process, Kyle Whittingham. But other than that, there's not a whole lot happening. So I did want to take this opportunity to ask you, watching this show, what more would you want to see out of it? What kinds of things do you want to talk about? What kind of segments would you want to have? We thought about things like athlete profiles, other stuff like that. Maybe a weekly appearance by the Dave Fox of KUTV News. I can't promise anything. He's a busy guy, but maybe. We'll see. But certainly, like I said at the beginning of this video, I want this to be a collaborative effort. I want this to be a place where Utah fans can come together, even if it's just in the comments section where you're not limited by 140 characters, and have a little bit more meaningful discussion and have a better chance to fully express your views. So I want to hear it. Put some comments down below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing at least a little bit, hit that subscribe button down below as well, and you'll be updated every time I post a new video. But that's all I got for now, so thanks for watching Fox On. Now Fox off. Okay, so then we'll do the fade back, right? Yeah. I don't know if I'm crazy about that. We'll work on the sign off. But for now, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Go Utes. Oh, how'd you feel about it? Should we do it again?